Hello and welcome. Today we're going to talk about the second thing that destroys every relationship. And based on John Gottman studies within a period of 5 years. Actually, contempt, which is the subject at hand, is the biggest, um, what's the name, indicator that the relationship will end. Welcome. Hello. Hi. All right. So let's start talking about this. What are these things that Gottman talks about? These are. Sorry, I got an alarm went off here. Okay. These are 4 ways of communicating love or communicating in a relationship, not communicating love, but communicating in a relationship that brings destruction. So he calls it the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And the way he studied this is that he put couples in a room and cameras, and they would like put in their fingers in their bodies machines that would notice if the person started sweating in their hands or started feeling the heart raised or whatever physiological kind of obvious things that you would only recognize that are not that obvious. I mean, blood pressure raise, change in, even he would sometimes even do hormonal tests, test out stress hormones and things like that. He would observe when these changes happen physiologically, even body heat. Then he would be able to say, hey, this has changed it. This has changed the relationship. What happened? And he started observing this. And within a period of 30 years, he kind of came to these discoveries. So the second one is contempt. And contempt communicates disdain, like the person is being ignored. Hello. Whenever the person feels as though they are less than, right? In some way, the other one is superior to the other one, right? That destroys the marriage. And just those actions are very clear, very easy. You just, like, if I tell you, hey, do you use contempt in your communication? You usually don't want to say that you do, but it really happens more often than not. The ways that it appears in communication is through mockery, sarcasm, ridicule, calling names. If you call your partner any names, if he feels ridiculed in any way, then that is a way of communicating contempt. Also, when you imitate the other person, when you're kind of like imitating the way they say things, that is contempt. Okay. Whenever you make a joke out of whatever the person is saying, it's so stupid, you don't know, or oh right, that's contempt. This a type of it communicates a type of disregard, right? A depreciation. Whatever they're saying, whatever they're doing, whatever they stand for, whatever is in their heart, is less important than what is in our hearts. So that's what you're communicating. So this type of depreciation, inferiority, right, is contempt. Another way of using contempt is also to kind of deceive, to deceive the other person. That's also a contemptuous act, because it communicates to the person that they're less intelligent, they're not able to grasp what's actually really happening, right? We see that in, I remember a magician that he would, bring a person to the stage, and he would do some type of magic with paper, toilet paper, and he'd go, and the way he would do it is that he would keep the person looking at his hand, but he's actually throwing the paper behind the person. Everybody in the audience is seeing this and laughing at the person who can't see the toilet paper being thrown behind him. And so it is a type of saying, hey, you're so dumb, you don't even see this, right? So So this, contempt is so sad and so serious because it destroys a lot more things than you can actually conceive. So, for example, so you can make if you use contempt, if a lot of the way you communicate is contempt, and you say, "Oh, look, this is the way I talk. This is who I am. My second language is sarcasm." Then we gotta look at the way you look at the world, buddy. Right? If you need this to feel good about yourself, if this is something that you need to put somebody down so that you feel above them and better. What do you think is broken inside of you? Bum, bum, bum. So there is something broken. There is something wrong. There's some people thinking, I need therapy. Maybe I need therapy right now. Right? Why? Because there's something broken in you. Why would you need to put somebody down? There's no reason, right? So, if you do communicate in this way, if you do bring people down in a lot of the ways you communicate, make people feel less than or not good enough, then we need to look at the way you see the world and why do you think you're better than others? Okay. Making fun of people demonstrates exactly that somehow you are superior to the other person, or the other person feels superior to you, right? You're better than, and they're lesser than, which is not a healthy way of looking at yourself. It kind of brings the narcissistic, yucky feeling that, you get when you feel a person thinks they're better than. So when a person like this comes into my office, the way I do is like, why do you need to feel good enough by putting other people down? Can't you just feel good enough being good enough? And then I stop and let them think. If you are enough, you don't need to put anybody down to feel good enough. You just are. You don't need, so just kind of question those attitudes, those actions. And also, I think another thing that I want to say is, if you have a partner like this, kind of don't go to him or her with 2 rocks in your hand. Just kind of think, why do you need this when you communicate with me? What is it about you that is broken that you need to feel better than me? I actually had a relationship, a very sad, very, very toxic relationship in my life one time. And he would just make sure I was less than him in every way. And the way he would do this is belittling my ideas, or saying that the things that I did is not that big of a deal. A lot of people do it, so it's not necessary to do them. Or he would talk nonstop and totally disregard the things that I said, kind of like misdirect, like a magician again. What I was saying to something else that was so gross and nasty. It just sounded so yucky. One time I was like, I'm just going to let him talk and see how far he goes. After 2 hours and a half, this man hadn't stopped talking. And then I said, it's been 2 hours and a half. Are you not going to get to your point? And so, I knew that inside of me there was a war happening when he would speak, and I couldn't tell what it was. But the thing that it is in him, and I don't know if to this day, but he needed to feel better than me so that he would be okay, right? So, you have to understand, we're all a little better than other people in some things, and worse than in other things. In my case, I'm dyslexic. I've always said this. I have no problem with dyslexia. It gives me some work in my life, but it's who I am. It's the way I was brought up. It's not brought up, the way I was made, and I accepted it. It took me years to accept it, but I have. And so there are days that I read and my brain just doesn't want to do that. My brain is like, no, we're not reading right now. we're not gonna read. So, so I try and I try, and then I give up and I go, okay, tomorrow maybe I'll read it again. I'll try again. I read not in a fast speed usually, and I don't speak in a fast speed either. I'm okay with that too. I don't like speed speakers. But I think that if I hadn't had dyslexia, I wouldn't understand how less than people could feel about themselves with whatever defect they have. To this day, there are some things that I maybe don't get, but we need to make people feel like they belong. And the way we make them feel like they belong is not putting them down, with no contempt, none of those nasty things. So to show, okay, thinking that we're better than others actually shows our fragility. What is wrong with us that we need this so much that we need to put people down, right? So try to remember this. If a person leaves from being with you, being close to you, do you want them feeling worse about themselves or better about themselves? Oh, Alec, what about tough love? It has been proven that tough love does not work as much and as well in your body, in your mind, in your brain, as good love, regular acceptance love, right? So this has been proven, and I'm going to talk about some studies here, but it is serious. It does not help. Welcome. Just so you have an idea. There is a study that says, oh, look at this one. Studies that says that couples that use this type of communication with contempt, putting the other person down, making them feel less than, with sarcasm, rolling eyes and things like that, these couples, they have more infectious diseases. They get more flus, they get more sore throats and things like that. Their immune system is affected by the way they communicate. That's serious, right? So how do you know where these negative feelings that have that put people down come from? Where do you think it comes from, right? If you don't know why you use this communication tool, then I'm going to tell you right now. You ready? All right. Contemptuous feelings come from a simmering of negative feelings and resentment. Dun, 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 again, right? So in this case, you have been holding these chips, these things in your pocket, in whatever game you're playing with your partner, the love, the life game. So as you're playing them and he does something that you totally don't like, it relates to the chip that you have. He owes me this. She owes me that emotionally. It's an emotional debt that you kept it, you simmered it. It stayed inside of you, destroying the way you see your partner, making you feel like you are above them, they are lesser than, right? Feeling that they're not, good enough or good to a fault. So, and you haven't forgiven. You haven't talked about it. You haven't communicated your need. You haven't communicated how that hurts you. You were not vulnerable. So then that chip is there in your pocket and you bring it out and you make them feel less than whenever you need to. So within the 4 nights, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, it says that this one is the strongest indicator for divorce. When we communicate in this way, where we put the other person down, making them feel disrespected, dishonored, it can be extremely, extremely cruel, right? Excruciating emotional pain to the other person. Because, listen to this, at the same time you're saying something that is quote unquote obvious, the other person is feeling ridiculed and less than. So an example, the guy is got home from work and his wife says, you are tired. I say, here slaving away in this house, taking care of the children, going up and down. And here you come home and sit in the sofa and play the video game. You are tired? Right. cry me a river. I can't, you should pity me. You're so pathetic, And so here, the wife, what she wants is his help. She wants him to participate. She just deep down just feels alone, right? But she wanted him to be there with the children, hug them, take care of them, talk to them, put them in his lap, be around the kitchen when she's talking and helping cut the veggies or whatever for dinner. But he is in video games. So instead of asking for that, she goes and calls him pathetic, puts him down, makes him uses contempt. Makes him feel less than, right? So what do you think? What do you think is going to happen to a person that makes the other one feel less than all the time? They're just going to either attack or push away. Where's the door, right? So that's what we do. I mean, why would you stay close to a person that makes you feel less than? So when you are communicating contempt, you are putting the person feeling less than you, but not only that, it talks about your broken heart and what is wrong in the way you see this relationship, in the way you see the other person for years sometimes. Sometimes you never told them, hey, listen, I really don't like it when you talk in that way. It really breaks my heart and makes me feel less than. No, you don't go in this vulnerable place. You don't use sadness. You use anger and you use contempt and you attack. But you see, the greatest cruelty with using contempt is that you are not just showing how mad you are at the person. What you are actually doing, you're changing their identity. Yes, in the way they perceive themselves, the way they see themselves, you're making them feel in some way dumb, less than, a mistake, or, that they're not good enough. So, and not that they did something wrong, but they are that something that they did wrong. So, like the lady said, you're pathetic, right? Making the husband feel that he is a pathetic man because he got home and started playing video games instead of taking care of the children. See, for another phrase that is contemptuous, right? Hey, I learned to read a watch. I learned to use the watch at 7. When are you going to learn this, right? Or let's say they're fighting about sex, and the guy comes. This happened in my office, sort of like this. He said, "We haven't had sex in 6 months. What happened? Are you still flirting with that guy at work? Why don't you go ahead and marry him?" Right? So, I love you too, Abel. Thank you for your love. And thank you for going to the other room when I do my live. Right? So, in this way, the husband is making her feel less than, and not only that, changing the way she sees herself. Making her feel like she is cheating, she has an agenda, and even pushing her away. So the communication of contempt in any relationship is always going to push away or bring an attack, right? So another way that maybe I didn't stop and make you look at is contemptuous way of communicating is the roll of the eye. Yeah, like, that one's terrible, right? 2 weeks ago, I had a couple. They're like around 60 some years old. That guy was rolling his eyes whenever she spoke. Yes, 60 some year old. And it happens, man, because it's a way we learn to communicate our anger, and it's not so terrible, I guess. And so I didn't go to the rolling eye because I brought him to empathy because, he's tired of seeing her talk about this. And it looks like victimizing, but she doesn't know how to get out of her pain. She just doesn't know the door. She doesn't know where the door is. We got to get in there and stay with her in that place of pain. And then she then slowly gets out. But for him, it's excruciating to see her go into that place and just stay there. He just hates it. He hates it all, right? He just wants his wife back, but she doesn't know how to get out of it. So I brought him to a place of empathy, but it's very hard because inside of him, there's resentment. He hasn't talked to her about, hey, it's excruciating to me to see you stay in that place of pain for so many years and never get out. I just wanted you back. I just wanted to have my wife back. Kids are gone. Now it's the time of our lives to just enjoy ourselves, and we can't because you just can't not enjoy life, it seems. So it hurts me. Instead of like attacking her, you cannot enjoy life. That's an attacking way. Let's focus on the way he could say it. Like, it makes me so sad to see you so sad. And I hate it. It gets me even to feel mad. Right? So that's real. That's sincere. Instead of saying, rolling the eye, going, oh my God, there she goes again. It's just so sad. Right? So we need to learn to not use contempt in our relationships so that we bring people close. So in my family, let's talk about a little bit of my personal life. So in my family, we use mockery a lot. Like, we make fun of each other. So I'm used to it. It doesn't, I always knew how to react to it. I wouldn't be the girl that would get mad or anything. I would just laugh with my brother, like, yeah, whatever. I'll laugh at myself too. Because it is, I would be okay with laughing at that. But if you do this chronically, eventually the person does create resentment, does create a feeling that they are less than, right? So we have to kind of be very, very careful with the way we communicate to the person that we love the most, so that we bring them close. You have to understand the target here is no longer winning a fight. The target here is no longer winning a fight. I'm repeating so you get it in there. The target here is not to lose connection. It's not to lose emotional connection. If I start a discussion with my husband, and the plan is I will not lose connection with you, even though I'm talking to you, I'm not going to put you down. I'm not going to criticize you, attack you, stonewall you, nothing like that. I will just maintain contact. Even if I'm mad and he's mad, we're not attacking each other's character. We're not, we're giving each other the benefit of the doubt with the words that we're going to say. We're going to think before we speak. So we have to stay in a place where we still can control that, because there's a level of anger that you lose the control of your frontal lobe. It kind of shuts down, and then you say the stuff that you shouldn't say, right? So you have to stay calmer. At some points when I have discussions with my partner, I get out. I go, okay, I need some time out. I need to calm down. I'll come back. So let's talk about some tips that I can give you so that you don't use contempt in your relationships anymore. So first thing for you to do to yourself is find out how you feel about your partner and why do you use contempt. What is it? What is the pain that takes you to use contempt, right? What is the thing? Whenever you do it, why? So is it resentment about him going to work and staying too late? Is it resentment about him talking so much about a particular subject? Is it resentment about her being expending so much money? What is it about, right? Hold that thought. Stay the first step. Second step is find out what you need from your partner, right? So going backwards, I needed her to spend less money. I need her to just stay within the budget. Or I need him to be more proactive with the children. This is a need. I need to feel loved in this way. Or I need him or her to choose his or her words better. It breaks my heart when things like that are said, like this or that, right? So now you know what takes you to use contempt, what you need. But the next step now is to communicate this respectfully without using you words, right? So, for example, you are this, you are that. We don't use that anymore. We say, when this happens, or whenever you do this, then you can say the word you, but you say, when this happens, I feel like this, and it breaks my heart. And I see that in the past I've used contempt to kind of show you how mad I am, but it didn't, it didn't, it wasn't successful. So I kind of want to change that. I want to change the way I communicate to you. And not only that, I want us to be close. I want us to be good. I need us to be good. It's the most important thing for me. And I really need this. And then you go and talk about what you need. I need this with us. What can you give me? Sometimes a person cannot give you 80% or 100% of what you need, but sometimes they can give you 10, 20. They're not ready, they're not that good, whatever it is, but at least they're giving you some, because we don't all have everything that our partner needs. What we have is to try to communicate and ask for things and see what the other person can give, and also we need to maintain the connection. That's the secret, that's the point. Maintain the connection. I cannot lose connection with you. I need to be connected with you. I need to be okay with you. I need that. That's life-giving to us, right? So let's say to the woman that said, "Oh, poor thing, cry me a river," to her husband that got home, started playing video games instead of helping with the house. The first thing that she would feel, for example, what does she feel? She feels anger. She has resentment. She feels alone, right? So behind the anger, there's this softer feeling, which is either anger or fear in different cases. But in this case, it's sadness too. There's sadness too. It's either, not anger, sadness and fear. Behind the anger, there's either sadness or fear, right? So in this case, it's sadness, and she feels alone and ignored. What does she need? She needs support. She needs him to be there. She needs to feel like she has a partner. And the third part of that would be for her to communicate to him how she actually feels and what she needs. So the way I planned of her saying it is in this way. Honey, when I see you sitting here at the couch, I get so sad and a little mad too, because I feel that you don't mind the children screaming, or you don't care that I'm cooking and I'm super busy and they're right in front of you, but you don't, take your eyes off of your video game, and it makes me feel so alone and so disregarded, and I'm so sad. And I know in the past I try to communicate this with contempt and I put you down and stuff, but that's not my place. I really need you. I need us to be good, and I need you to show up in this way, in some way, in this at home. So what do you think you can give me? And first off, maybe I need to apologize for using contempt in the past, but I really want us to be closer, and I need to feel like you're there for the family as a husband. And so that kind of brings the person close. Those words are gonna bring the person close. Also, I summarized it. You got to take, kind of dissect this more and let the person kind of process. Sometimes whenever you give these pearls to your partner, they're not ready for it. They're not expecting you to be all sweet and nice about it. So their first reaction might be negative, but you can say, hey, man, I came to you with vulnerability. I came to you being real and not attacking. I was talking about my flaws too. I kind of wanted you to kind of take it in, come close, and I need us to be close. And that's going to mean the world to me. If we could be close and you help me with the children, that'd be great. So turn around, and let them think a little bit, So we are all learning, And if you were brought up in a family where they had heavy words, they were rude, they didn't know how to use it, they're just not cute. They're just not cute. They open their mouth. We got to learn. We got to learn to speak in a way that creates love and life, there are people that just haven't learned that. So the way you're going to learn that is talking with people that do, or reading books, or, kind of like learning to communicate this. And you can even ask your partner sometimes, hey, I know the way I was just asking for help, but I think the way I said it hurt your feelings. What is it about the way I said that hurts your feelings? And they might say it's not the what you said, is the way you said it, or blah blah blah. And you learn. I'm in a learning process with my partner all the time. And the other day I was like, we haven't talked at all today, you know. And then he's like, yeah, we did. And I'm like, no. And he's like, yeah, I asked you about work when you got home, and then you said you told me about like three couples that two patients that you saw, da da da. And then I said it was like 3 sentences. So, you know, to me it was not enough. It was nothing. But to him it was a whole conversation. You know, but so we're different people. He doesn't talk that much, you know. So one of the ways that we do this is to talk about how we have seen your partner over the years. So bring the truth to the relationship. Tell them how you've seen them over the years, you know, the resentment, and talk about it without attacking. Just say, hey, this has hurt me over the years, and maybe I didn't talk about it, but I need, you know, you to look at this with love and kind of come to me and help me with this, because I feel really sad or alone or fearful, you know, in this way. And you can seek couples therapy. You can go to the Hold Me Tight workshop. I'm actually doing a Work Me Tight workshop next month in July in Portuguese, and then another one in English in August. So the one in Portuguese will be the 31st and the 1st of August, 31st of July and the 1st of August. And the one in English is going to be the 28th and 29th of August. Yes. And it starts at 9 in the morning and it ends at 5 at night. And it's going to be great. It's going to be great. $300, 2 days workshop that will change your life, and it'll make you understand the power of love and how we're doing it wrong, right? So I'm going to give you 10 tips on how to communicate love and change the culture of communication in your house to a culture of gratefulness, a culture of respect and honor, right? So number one, we can talk about positive events that happened over the years that you guys stayed together. We can talk about difficult, you know, moments that you had together and you guys were there for each other. You can talk to him or her about the important things that you like in the relation, the things that they make that it's the best thing for you. It makes you love them more. Tell them the things that make a difference in you, you know, for you, right? For my partners, when we do things in the kitchen together, to him is a big deal, right? He feels like I'm partnering with him. Try to offer gestures of appreciation, affection, support, and love. And in this case, you should, you know, maybe do the 5 love language tests. It's online. It's a free 5 love languages. It's a book, but and you can read the whole book. But it's really important for you to know the love language of your partner and ask them, because sometimes you're cleaning the house, they don't care about that much. They just want quality time, or they just want gifts. And so try to ask them what really they like, so you give it to them, because we usually give the things that we want to get, but we should give what the person needs, and vice versa. Or touch, physical touch is another one. All right, I have to start a session, so we gotta go. Let me finish up. Some behaviors that help neurologically is to kiss for longer than 6 seconds. Having deep conversations without attacks. For 5 minutes a day, if you could, be grateful to each other for 5 minutes in the conversation, the things that you actually are grateful for the other one. Think about good things. So think good, positive things about your partner. That changes behavior. So think positive things about them. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Have good thoughts, good attitudes, because thoughts will change your attitude, will change your words, right? Communicate. The number 9 is communicate whenever you need to be okay with your partner. So if you're not okay, say, hey, not that if you're not okay, always communicate that you need to be connected with them. This is an important phrase. Tell them, I need us to be good. I need us to be good and connected. Let's do that. I cannot be fighting with you. I need us to be good. It's an important phrase that you cannot forget. And number 10 is resuscitate or resurrect, right? the culture of appreciation, admiration, esteem, contemplation. We don't contemplate today. We don't stop and just think. We're always on TV or video. Contemplate. Go to the beach. Look at things. Get away. Appreciate the relationship. Tell the other person, and raise inside of you caring feelings, and enjoy the present moment. If you're in the present moment and you're here with me right now, you're not doing other things, and you can actually take in my love, take in my care, right? So remember, contempt puts you in a place of superiority and makes the other person feel less than. And what you want to communicate to your partner is that you want them to be close. So tell them, I want us to be close. I don't want to feel like, or make as though I am superior to you. I'm not. You're better than me in some things, and I'm better in other things. That's just normal. And what we want to communicate is the value that the relationship has for you. Sign up for my course. Okay, send me the message on Instagram or whatever media you are at. You're gonna watch me. It's on. I already said it's next at the end of July, at the end of August, right? A weekend, and it's gonna be $300. And early birds get discount, $50 discount. Okay, all right. See you soon. See you next week. Have a wonderful week. See you soon.